Hello, hello. Hi, 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 hi. Hello, hello. I missed you guys. Hello, hello, hello. You'll see the return of the old mouth has made its way back. I missed it too much. I missed the old mouth too much. Hello, everybody. I missed you all so much. I have been so eepy. I have been in like a midsummer hibernation. This is very common for me. What do you mean there's a level 1 hype train going on? This is silliness. I y'all, I won't lie to you, I overdid it. I said I wasn't gonna overdo it, and then I did exactly that. Hello, welcome back from me. A level 1 hype train I will take. What a phenomenal thing this is. Even if it doesn't get finished, like, seeing them start is so heart pa-pump, go pa-pow, pa-pow, you know? Feel good, make my heart go flutter. Which is great, because, like, that's the whole thing we, like, talk about, you know? Why did my Steam suddenly connect? Well, my Steam just suddenly, like, booted up and I got everyone's notifications. I don't think everyone just started playing their games at the exact same time. How are you all doing? I have a lot of things to tell you. I have a lot of life updates. I have a lot of Chicago stories, which was such a fun time. What else? What else? Chicago crying. I had such a fun time in Chicago, you guys. I'm mostly really excited to talk about the positives and the negatives. Lots of funny stories that happened there, stories that have happened since then. Some of my work drama, because I would love to keep you guys in the loop with all the tea in my life. No names, no exact locations, no whatever, but like there's some tea from other coworkers that I want to talk about. And then some allusions to a few things, get you guys hyped for some things. Nothing explicit, but shh, we'll see. We'll get there. So, when we last left off was back before I went to Chicago. I spent literally just the week before looking. I spent the week before Chicago literally just packing, cleaning my apartment, and having several panic attacks. Full honesty. I had a really fun time in Chicago, but any trip makes me so nervous. I never know what to pack. I never know truly what to bring. You know what? Why don't we work on a drawing that I'm working on right now? Oh, but who could this be? Ami, my bestie, one of many besties, but a bestie to be sure. But I figured I'd tell my stories while we look at stuff, because I feel like you guys probably want to like see like a visual. Yeah, you are still like the bestie, the OG bestie. I God, the difference in color. This is like a true. I'm gonna come and throw like cover your bedroom. Just come start hitting me. Um, that's why it feels weird, is because I removed the necklace. I had to remove the necklace to like fix it. Um, but I spent a lot of that time just kind of like freaking out, trying to get everything ready, mentally preparing and physically preparing like my body and everything that was going to happen to me, because it was a lot of walking and a lot of socializing and standing in one of the hottest summers in Chicago in a very long time. And what was apparently the most packed that Lollapalooza has ever been for my very first one, which is kind of crazy. I'm not trying to just play Chapel on a loop right now. This is a playlist that is on shuffle. As much as I like the song, I'm gonna. Why is my shuffle being weird? shuffle in my heels with my hair straight. So we got to Chicago. I feel like I should start with the drive. The drive the drive that drove me, Jelly Bean, and Day Bloomy crazy, drove us entirely insane. We we set off from our original location at 9 in the morning. We all got together, had breakfast, got to one of our first stop towns that we had to stop in at like 10 a.m. 10 a.m. 10:15. We had no issues. It said we were going to get there at like 4. We were like, perfect. We'll get to our Airbnb at 4. And then we will go meet up with our friend who was going to be meeting us there. And we were meeting up with Wani, one of the chatters from the stream you guys have seen before. We get on our drive. It goes fine. Like, everything is going well. But every time we stop, the directions on my phone keep getting longer and longer. And I'm like, we're stopping for like 15 minutes at maximum at every place. But the time was shooting up by like half an hour, 45 minutes. We eventually reach a Cracker Barrel. What was supposed to be about, it was actually my personally created circle of hell. We were in hell for a little bit. We get to a Cracker Barrel and we're like, why is this time increasing so much? Like, we can't keep stopping. We didn't eat at the Cracker Barrel. We decided to like run to the bathroom. We were just trying to like, okay, we'll like shoot straight there. We're gonna have like lunch on the road. We'll get there. We'll go have dinner, and then we're gonna go to the aquarium when we got there on Wednesday. As we get to the Cracker Barrel, we are now like, oh gosh. We were at this point, it had now said that we were supposed to get to our destination like an hour and a half. You almost forgot your love letter. Thank you, Hoshi, and thank you, Jellybean, for getting your love letters. It says that it is like, originally we were supposed to get there like 4 on the dot. And then we were supposed to get there at 4:30, and that was fine. And then 4:30 became 4:45. And then it became 5, and then it became 5:15, but we were not like stopping very long. We were at most stopping for like a minute or two to stretch, to swap drivers, or to run to the bathroom for a maximum 5 to 10 minutes at most in each stop. We are like, our like end goal has been pushed back an hour and a half at this point. We are supposed to get there at either like 5 to 5:15. As we keep driving, it keeps getting pushed further, and Jellybean looks at my phone and goes, "You're not gonna believe what's happening." I'm like, there's no way that we're still like an hour away from our location, because it said we were still like an hour out at like 3:30, almost to 4, and it's like we are 15 miles from our location, and we were on a major highway. It should have at most taken 20 minutes to get to where our Airbnb was from where we were. And for some reason it said that we were still like 50 minutes away, or an hour. It was an hour and 10 minutes away. And every time that the clock would tick down, the delay would get longer, and it refused to dip below an hour. And eventually we were like, what's going on? There was a crash so bad, it caused an hour and a half delay on a major highway. We were trapped in that car for 3 hours longer than we intended to be. We were in that car for 9.5 to 10 hours. And we were meant to be there for only like 6 to 6.5, yet 10 hours. 10 hours we were in that car. At one point, we were like stuck. Yeah, 3 hours. 3 hours. That delay alone, it kept increasing and increasing and increasing. We spent 20 minutes going like 1 mile. We spent 20 minutes going like 1 mile down the road We were stopped at one point. We were in bumper to bumper, true bumper to bumper, to the point where we're like looking out onto the highway, and Tate Bloomy in the back is just like, guys, I can see ants on the side of the highway. And we're looking around and we're trying to like find fun things to look at and to like talk about, like literally begging anything, looking for anything to look at or talk about. And we found a lot of like fun trash in the side of the highway, like a rubber duck and an Easter egg and several other things, probably a bottle of pee. Probably definitely a bottle of pee is what we determined, I think. Rest in peace, pink rubber. Rest in peace, pink rubber duck. I thought about you in that sewer drain. Might as well put on a movie at that point. Honestly, we had a moment of mass hysteria. We had hardly eaten. We had each at least had like a few things. But we started going crazy, like literally making noises, like laughing hysterically, just like I started like throwing my body back and forth. I was so exhausted of being in this line of people. People were like driving on the shoulders to get around people, and like these were like a mile or two stretch of road. And so at one point, eventually, people behind us, there was a pickup truck that had like moved their car enough to block half of the shoulder so that cars like that were not actually needing to pull onto the shoulder were like driving around us. They were like stopping people behind us so they couldn't like pass everybody. Amelia, hello, welcome in. Thank you for stopping by. And I think that truly made us go insane. And then we like slowly started picking up speed again, and then we were like locked back in and like focused and everything made sense. We got to our Airbnb 2.5 hours late. 2.5 hours late. It was just horrendous. It was so bad. I don't ever want to be in a position like that again. I'm trying to fix these in like the right way. Do you guys ever like leave a piece for a really long period of time and then come back to it and you're like, what was I even doing here? I love doing that to pieces because I feel like I'm glad I learned a lot in my art since I worked on this piece, because I really want to make this piece very good for Ami, because this is a celebration piece, one for her birthday, but also because she just hit 200 followers and I'm really proud of her. Fiery with the Prime song. I'm so glad you got back here eventually. Also, yeah, you're back. Thank you so much for the sub with Prime, Fiery. Yes, I am back. I made it there safe. We started going crazy, and the drive home was infinitely shorter and so much faster. We did get caught in a really bad rainstorm, however, on the drive back home, which was not ideal. But it was okay. It was okay. I think I'm just gonna keep hearing these same Chappell Roan songs unless I do something about it. The universe was against our road trip. So we get there and we go, well, we don't have time to still go to the aquarium or to the planetarium that day, which was devastating. So we were like, well, let's just go get Korean barbecue. And so we go and do that. And we go, and they're like, okay, well, it'll be a 45-minute wait. And we go, great. We will just go walk around. And we look down and we see a thrift shop. And Dave Bloomy loves all this stuff. And so we go in, and the rest of us are go, oh, these are kind of cute stuff. Bloomy found like 6 pieces of clothing, and like several of them she wore on, like they were on the trip. Like swapped out some of their clothing that they had originally brought with them and wore those items instead. They were so perfect. They were like perfect, like Y2K, early 2000s, like glittery girly pop outfits. They were so cute. I loved them. They were phenomenal on them. Um, oh, well, hydrate. Thank you so much. And then, so we get all those things and we go back to Korean barbecue and it's our time. We sat in the hottest front room I have ever sat in at this Korean barbecue place. And we were like sweltering already and it's already like hot outside. And then you add the fact that we're trapped in like the front area of a KBBQ place. It's so insanely hot. I did drink that water, by the way. It's so insanely hot, and the only respite we get is anytime it like the door opens and a gust of wind like pours in, and they call us back and they sit us at our table, and our waiter comes up and he's like, "Have you guys ever eaten with us before? Thank you for stopping by, Amelia. Have a good time at class." And he goes, "Have you ever eaten with us before?" And I said, "No, we've actually never had KBBQ." And he goes, "Great, we'll swap out your things when they're burnt, and you can order 3 meats at a time and however many sides you want." So we order our food. And then he comes back and he basically gives us our stuff and then doesn't tell us how to use the stove. He turns it on, but then doesn't tell us how to do it. And so I'm like doing it super slowly and like fully burning out pans on bulgogi. And then he gets like sick of me doing it, but doesn't tell me how to do it. So it just comes over, and when he swaps it, he just like pours all of our meat on to the stove. And I was so embarrassed because I was like slow bit by bit, like cooking food, and it was turning out good, and we were all like having a fun time and chatting. And then he just does that, and I was like, oh my god, I've been doing it wrong the whole time. And like everyone around me knows it too. Bro, what's kind of rude about it? I have no idea. He was otherwise very sweet and it was otherwise fine, but I was just like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Please don't, please be kind to me and courteous in the fact that I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't want this little huggy anymore, I don't think. Yeah. KBBQ is so very good. We get through all of that. We go back home. We hang out for a long time. All of us are very tired. For the most part, we kind of just like chat for the rest of the night, hang out with our friend who, like, this was the first time we had ever met Wani in person, which was such a fun time, and we had such a wonderful time. We hung out. We played a little bit of Roblox together, which was really funny. And such a fun time. And then we went to bed. And then the very next morning was day 1 of Lollapalooza. And we got all ready to go, and we got all of our stuff set, and we all wore very cute outfits. The main goals of that day were a few bands in the morning, Chaperone and Kesha, which we knew we would really be at the back for Chaperone. But that meant being closer to Kesha, which did end up happening. We got like 10 rows back on the side, right by the sign language interpreter, which was so phenomenal and such a wonderful time. Kesha performs phenomenally live. We almost immediately died of heat stroke at the moment we got into Lollapalooza. Stood in a merch line with Dave Bloomy for I think 20 to 30 minutes. It looped around like 6 times before we like it looped around like a full like out and around and then back in before we even got into the barricade section of the merch area. Got some fun TV Girl merch and got some Pierce the Veil merch for Wani. Because they had been wanting some merch. Unfortunately, on day 1, Dominic Fike said before he even showed up, "I'm feeling sick, so I won't be performing Lollapalooza," and I nearly fell to my knees. I nearly fell to my knees in Grant Park. I was so devastated. If for anything, I was devastated for myself. I was devastated for Jellybean. But most importantly, I was devastated for Hoshi because I had a funny little bit that I was going to do where I was just going to hold up my phone and it would have had a little chibi image of our favorite Starlix commander on it at the Dominic Fike show. I know. So we get there and it's sweltering and every water from like the hydration stations is just like hose water. So we're drinking lukewarm hose water before we give in and go buy a can of liquid death. I want to make this more tooth colored. That's better. Hoshi is the real one who was scammed and personally victimized by him canceling. I do hope Dominic Fike is okay. However, I am devastated. I felt a disturbance in the world. I'm trying to do. Does anyone remember what these are like gold circlets that Ami wears, right? That's what I think. I'm gonna go on that basis for now, and if I'm wrong, then I'll just go back and change them. I'm gonna go with it's a gold circlet. I'm gonna just blindly believe. We go through all that. It's so hot outside, and the subway trains are like the cars are crammed. They're not super full when we get on them the first time, but they start to like pack up the more as the weekend went on. It's especially bad though on Thursday because Chapel Roan was performing mid-afternoon. And that is the busiest Lollapalooza has apparently ever been, not only midday, but period. It was somewhat of like 30,000 people were at Lollapalooza, and I think 2/3 of them were at Chapel Roan. I'm making these numbers up, but there's a video that someone took from their apartment or from a hotel where you can see the scale of the crowd. And I can point out vaguely where I am in that crowd. I'm way in the back, and I was like, where's the energy? I would have thought the Chapel Roan would have brought like an energetic crowd because we were in more like the Kesha group of people. And I was like, well, dang, that makes me kind of sad a little bit. But I was like, whatever, it'll be fine. Oh, Beanie, hello! It's so good to see you. And I was like, well, here's the thing. The crowd wasn't bad. The crowd where I was bad, but there were a lot of people who were also by Kesha with us who were like, well, I wanted to see Chapel, but I knew I couldn't get over there. We were surrounded by a lot of people who had heat intolerances, and it was funny because we all had like hand fans and like cooling towels. A girl next to Bloomy almost passed out. That'll be funny in a minute. I promise it will. But like everyone did Hot to Go, even the people who didn't care about who Chapel was. But like the area where we was like dead-er, but everyone was there to see Chapel. Even if you were waiting for Kesha, you were there to see Chapel. She was wearing the luchador outfit. She looked great. She looked so great. She had little pigtails and everything. It was a cute look. It was a very cute look. I'm trying to think of. We get through Chapel. It's a very chill time. It's very hot. They're throwing the very small, like 8-ounce versions of box water into the crowd to get people hydrated. I try to catch several. I miss. I give up and I look at the ground to look for something, or I look at my like side bag for something, and I get beamed in the top of the head with a boxed water. And everyone just looks at it on the ground and then looks at me and they go, are you okay? And I go, I'm fine, but this is mine now. And I like stooped down and it didn't get dirty. So I wasn't gonna pass up free water. So me and Bloomy had water. Yes, I told you that. I told you that like shortly after it happened. When I said I got hit in the head, I also got hit in the head with a beer can when I was in that crowd. Someone threw a beer can and hit me and a different girl in the head with a beer can. We like pinged off of us like a ping pong ball. People kept shoving through. It was a lot of people who were at Kesha were very rude, but Kesha herself was stunning. She was very adamant in following things the way that she wanted to be done. When everyone said waking up feeling like P. Diddy, she stopped the crowd and she said, everyone stop it. Waking up feeling like FP Diddy. And I was like, this is good. She flashed a bunch of naked pinups and pinups in general for her song Woman, which was amazing. She had 4 costumes. She had 3 separate costume changes. I don't think anyone minded. I certainly didn't mind. It was just a phenomenal time. I danced. I screamed my lungs out. I danced to I jumped to every song and I knew all the words and it was great. It was beautiful. And she sang Prayin' and Freedom and she hit those whistle notes and my God, it's so phenomenal in person. She looks like she's de-aged like 10 years. She looks like someone put her in a deep freeze in 2008. She sings the same too. It's just a sight to behold the way that she performs. Her first skirt was a dupe Birkin. It was a rip-off Birkin bag that they destroyed, covered in rhinestones, and turned into a skirt. And then she just and then she was yelling at people to throw their clothes, because she does that part in Take It Off where she's like, give me your clothes, and then nobody threw anything up, and then she screamed like, no, really, give me your clothes. And so somebody threw several things, and one of my friends who we had met at that point was like, I really wanted to throw my shirt up there, but I didn't want to be shirtless in a crowd, even if it was at Kesha, and be like, guys, I threw my top at Kesha, which I thought was really funny. So nobody lost their clothes, at least in my vicinity. But Kesha was phenomenal, and I had a great time, and the crowd was dead for Joyride, which was a travesty. Would have done it. Hoshi, you are an icon. The crowd was dead for Joyride, which was a shame, so I screamed as loud as I physically could for that song. And then I learned very quickly after Kesha was done the effects of not taking care of your body at a festival when you have a chronic illness. Hoshi was meant to be alone. And I learned very quickly that when you don't give your body enough salt, and even though I had eaten food, I have gastroparesis, as you guys know. I've talked about it on my Twitter before. Brozone. Forgot this was in this playlist. You'll never get to do that again in your life. So worth it. Honestly, that's so fair. So we got all through that, and then as everyone's crowding, I'm like, well, let's get to a side rail and then wait for a lot more people to flood out of the area, because it's about to be like a swarm of people. And I don't want to cut through that. I just want to like give it a few minutes, and then we'll go see Hozier and Megan Thee Stallion, and we'll end the night and we'll go home. And Hozier was the one I was looking the most forward to, and I was like, great, I had a great time at Kesha, and I could say that I've seen Kesha live, and it was a phenomenal time. We get like maybe 10, 15 steps, and I turn to Dave Bloomy, and I grab their arm, and I go, we need to get to the paramedics right now. And I go, I thought I could just like walk back to where our group was, but I need to like, I feel like I'm about to hit the floor. Like it just hit me all at once. How little water I've had, how little salt I've had. I really just want to like get over there, even just so I can get walked through the crowd. We get over to this medic and I say, "Can you help me?" And like Bloomy is being so kind. Bloomy's like taking over the whole situation. Like, you need to help us. My friend is about to pass out. Like, she's very sick. And I feel so bad for this like college kid who looks at us and goes, "Oh," like sits me down on like a little stool thing that was behind the barricade, and like sits and talks with me for a second, and they're like, "Do you think you need like actual medical attention?" And at first I was like, "No," and then after a few minutes I was like, "Maybe I do." Um, and I felt so for this kid in this moment, because she looks at me and she goes, "I'm so sorry to tell you this, but I'm just a volunteer. I don't really know what I'm doing. And I'm not technically on duty right now. My shift ended at 6. It was like 7 at this. It was either like 6 or 7 at this point. Um and they're like, "I'm a volunteer and I'm technically not on the clock right now, and the other medics are helping other people who also passed out during the set." And I said, "Oh," I was like, "Oh no. Oh no. It's okay if I pass out right here, but I really don't want to like fall into like the dirt, and I don't want to like hit my head on metal bars. I don't want to be stuck here for like 30 minutes waiting for my friends to be able to get to me, or wondering where I am, because there were so many people there that like signal was not working very good, and LTE was not working very good for anybody." And we reach a point where this paramedic volunteer goes, and they go, "Do you want me to help you walk through a crowd? I can use my shirt for good, and I can get you to the actual medical tent, and it'll be fine." And I said, "That would be nice." And this person is trying to get me through the crowd, and we have our hands up in the X formation like we did to try to get through the crowd, and nobody's like moving, and we're like, "Oh god, I'm going to get trampled." And like they didn't do it the first time too. Um but we get through this crowd, and this paramedic is like trying to yell, and I'm like, "Oh my god, you have like no voice in you." And so I have to yell, "Please move, please get out of the way, medical emergency." Like, I'm the one who's having to do it because only I can like lift my voice up loud enough. And I felt bad that I had to do it, but I was like, otherwise nobody was going to move out of our way. And so I'm just like knocking coins off my desk. I'm so sorry. Um, we're getting through this crowd. We move around. It takes us like 5 minutes to get through this like massive crowd to a tent that was maybe only a few steps away. And originally they were just gonna like bring me to my group of friends so they could bring me to like Wani, Jellybean, and where Bloomy was like walking with me. And they were like, "Actually, do you want to go to the medical tent? It's like right over here." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, we'll go to the medical tent. They have water there, and they can have." And she said, "Well, they have AC and whatever, yada yada yada." And I go, "Cool, yeah, I could go to the AC. I could go to the AC medical tent." I get there, I sit down in the chair, and I like immediately collapse. I pass out in an instant. It was like not even like a few seconds. um and so I hit the deck, and these paramedics are trying to wake me up rather than like make sure that I'm cool. So like they hand me like a water bottle, and I learned very quickly the AC has broken in this small medical tent that they have placed me at. And so, yeah, so the AC broke there, and they were like, "Well, do you want to go to the main medical tent?" And I was like, "I don't know if I want to do that. Like, I really don't want to be around doctors." Anyone with a chronic illness knows that like medical trauma doesn't makes you really not want to see like doctors or nurses. But I know for fact that like in this moment I have to do this. I have to get medical care. And so I'm like, okay, yes, you can take me to the medical tent. But I'm figuring all this stuff out, and they bring over a jelly bean, and I'm like, that is my so the word I used is that is my caregiver, and I'm looking at this nurse who is, or this paramedic who is like trying to keep me awake and like whatever, and they're asking me questions, and I'm very embarrassed. I'm hiding my face, and I'm trying not to look at these people, and they think I'm having a panic attack, and I'm just like, no, I just had like a medical emergency, and I'm very autistic, and I'm very embarrassed right now. And so I'm having a panic attack, but that's not like the reason I'm here. And so, and then all this is happening, and Jellybean shows up, and I go, like, the word I used is like, that's my roommate. They're my caregiver. Like, they know all of my medical stuff, and they have my medication. Can you please let them in? And I just in my haze, and I can, like, they can tell that I'm very much like not in a good space. And I go, that's my roommate. And I told them before that my roommate has my medical information. They can talk better for me. And they just go, what do you want? What do you want from me? And I'm like, well, can like they please come in? And they're like, well, you can't just keep, like, you just keep saying things at me, and you keep like just saying things, and I don't know what you're talking about. And it's like, I talked to this paramedic already a few times at that point. And she was just very rude. It made me very sad. And so I was like, you know what? I will go to the main medical tent to get away from this lady and get into an AC'd place. The person who came to, like, the actual paramedic who came to like transfer me over treated me a bit like I was 16. He's like, how old are you? And I'm like, I'm 25. And he's like, okay, sweetie. And I'm like, you are like maybe 6 years older than me. Like, would have thrown hands across the state lines. Catch these New York cats. I just, and then he was treating me very young, and then they were calling over the radio, and they were like, what do you have? And I'm like, I have POTS. And like at this point, POTS is a bit more, I'm taking a sip of water. I'm so sorry. I've been talking quite a bit. This is still day 1, by the way, that we are on. We are still on day 1. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Everyone drink water. I was like, sure. And I hear them talking over the radio, and they were like, oh, primary panic attack with what they think is POTS. And I was like, you cannot be serious. And they bring me in, and he's trying to talk to like the charge nurse here, or the head nurse here. And I'm like having trouble breathing. I can walk, but I'm having trouble breathing, and I'm having a panic attack. And he tells her primary anxiety with POTS, and I stop him, and I literally go, no, primary POTS. I fainted. Primary POTS. And so they put me over to like a cot on the other side of the room, and there's like every other cot I think has a person in it at that point. And I go, okay, I'll sit here for like a minute or two. I think I sat there for 20 minutes before someone took my vitals. Like nobody came over to see if I was okay. And in the time that I was sitting there, I was actually getting worse. I was having a worse flare than I thought I was having. And it took a very long time for them to like get to me. It was just like not a fun time for me. Eventually they let Jellybean in, and Jellybean hung out with me for a while, which was very kind. And I finally got care, and I finally got to like lay down. It literally took them like half an hour to let Bean in, which was pretty sucky. I understand that they had like procedures and stuff, but I used to work in healthcare too, and it's like, I'm here and no one else is giving me care, and this person at least wants to like hang out with me, you know? Also, the doctor that took care of me looked super familiar. And when we told him where we were visiting from, he was like, hey, I'm from there. And we were like, we're from this area of there. And he went, I'm actually from a close by area of there. And we were like, interesting. So that was a unique part of that. It was just a heck of a time. I was way sicker than I thought. Turns out I did have heat stroke. I did super emetophobia warning. Did super throw up a few times. We ended up just going home, back to the Airbnb after that. No, oh my god. There was a girl in the medical tent with me, and I was like halfway through the time that I was there. And she comes in, and every single doctor is around her, and every single paramedic is around her, and all of a sudden no doctors or paramedics are around her. It's like you see like a wave of people back up. You hear a splash of liquid, and you look over and you just hear a chorus of, oh no. You just hear a chorus of groans and a girl throwing up just what looks to be pure alcohol just onto the floor. And they had like vomit buckets there. She just didn't have one in time, and it was not a fun time for her. Or one girl who got carried in by her boyfriend through like the front door too. Like bridal style. It was the Wild West of medicine in there. We were waiting for something from one of the doctors that was helping me, and we were like, okay, well, I guess I'll wait. And I look over, he's sitting down eating a burger. And I was like, well, how long am I gonna have to wait? Is someone gonna do that for me? This is the first day. And then we went home because I was sick and everyone didn't want to be there. And also the med tent was right by an EDM show. The med tent was by an EDM show, so I could hear thumping bass in the back of my head for like the last half hour we were there, and there were like flashing lights. Not to mention, as all of this is happening, a storm is brewing in the distance. And so I thought the flashing lights was like lightning, and I was like, oh no, we're gonna have to go, and they're gonna cancel like headliners. They don't cancel the headliners. We head home early with like nobody around us. It was a great time. It turns out it rained and lightninged during Hosier, which was super cool. God, so much stuff happened day one. And so we get through all that, and then we go back to the Airbnb, and we go, you know what? Let's get Wingstop. It's been a long day. Let's get Wingstop for dinner. And so Wani goes to go get Wingstop. It's like maybe a 3-minute walk. I'm laying down on like the couch or wherever my sleeping situation was. And I hear thunder outside, and I'm like just like chilling, and I'm like, this is so calming and soothing. Wait a minute. Oh my god, Wani is outside right now. Wani is getting Wingstop actively. This needs to be clarified that this friend, Pookie was drenched. It needs to be clarified a little bit that this friend is like maybe 110 pounds soaking wet. Was also wearing all cotton clothing, a pair of denim pants, and Converse. And basically had to like wring themselves out at the door to enter the Airbnb. Not to mention you can't just like slip Converse off, so they had to like crouch in the rain outside the door to take off their Converse. They were like on their way to the Wingstop when the rain started happening, and it's like the heavens opened over them. And they went into the Wingstop absolutely drenched. And I felt so bad. I felt so bad. I know. But it ended up being fine. Next day, we went to the aquarium. Because we didn't really have anything that we wanted to see that day. There may have been like a thing, or it was like Zed and Galantis was playing, and those were the ones we kind of wanted to see, but we weren't as dead set on them. So we went on a journey to the aquarium. Bloomy had dolphin fever, and the dolphin like loved Bloomy. Like, kept swimming around her, kept like taking photos with them, like posing for photos, like swimming up and past them. It was a very cute time. I must like fully erase the stomach. That would have been really bad. Okay. I want to see if I can like create like a glitter effect. Aquarium was a fun time. I took like the most angelic photo of a whale shark ever. I sent it in the Discord server. Like, when it happened, it was beautiful. We got to see a bunch of sharks. We got to see beluga whales being very cute. Got to see a fun dolphin show. Or at least, like, a pirated version of the dolphin show. Where we watched the ones that weren't allowed in the show swim off in the little corner and caught glimpses of the dolphin show in the distance. We had a good time at the aquarium. We blindly walked our way back home. I think I got more steps in when I was in Chicago than I have in like the last month. So much walking, a lot of steps. I won't lie to you, I miss public transit. I think I would be so much healthier, and my chronic illness would be so much better if I had a city with public transit. 100%. Day 2 Korean was the highlight of the trip for me. Hell yes. I loved it so much. It was that or Sunday walking around, going to comic shops and going to Chinatown. Saturday we ended up going, seeing TV Girl, and then me and Bean hung out and watched From the Grass because Dave Bloomy is TV Girl's biggest fan in existence. And then we hung out for a little while, went to the Killers, went to go see part of Yoasobi. We also did feeling a little bit sick, so we all went home before everything wrapped up. And then we were supposed to go on Sunday to go see a few people, but it just ended up being like we didn't really want to go on Sunday. Thank you for the alert, Jelly Bean. Go enjoy whatever you're gonna do. It ended up being a really fun time because we ended up walking around. We went to Chinatown. We went to Miniso. We went on several little like we took like so many like connecting trains. I had such a fun time. I had a great time hanging out with my friends, and I do want to do a few fun little doodle drawings. Other things that happened. I do think it's funny that like several good things happened, but also like several catastrophic errors happened. It was such a delightful time. I had a really, really good time in Chicago. And then the drive home was literally nothing. We also kept getting advertisements for we kept getting advertisements for the Medieval Torture Museum. Which was kind of really funny. Did I waste space it out? I'm trying to make a good glitter brush, guys. Hold on. Yeah, the medieval torture. Okay, so me and Bloomy kept getting ads on our Instagram and TikToks for the Chicago Medieval Torture Museum. I'm trying to make like a good. I'm gonna make this like fun and sparkly, you know? I might turn this into like an overlay layer. That's the time of place you make a bet to see on who goes. Honestly. Pew, pew, pew. Put glitter on the show. I'm gonna make this like way small. Let's make some body glitter, y'all. That's the type of place you make a bet on to see who go. Okay, I'm gonna say something maybe controversial, but I think that spooky stuff is fun. You guys know this of me. You know I love spooky things. Oh, I like that one. Tighten it in a little bit. Sorry, I saw the opportunity to make like body glitter and I was like, oh, I could take that opportunity. I'll try that again in a different way, but I think this so far is super fun. I think I want to make this overlay. Yeah, that's glitter, baby. That's glitter, baby. We did it. Oh my gosh, that's a really fun glitter too. Gonna like minimize that. Twinkly as hell. Loving it. And then before I do like background stuff and before I do the perfect amount of glitter, I kind of want to try. I'm stuck between this and like vivid. I think I like doing subtract because then it shows me where I've accidentally left things. But for the most part, full transparency as to where I've been since Chicago has been working and being sick. I got pretty sick right after Lollapalooza, which was a little bit unfortunate, but I'm not at all surprised. I accidentally hit the opacity of that as 2 rather than just changing my face, which was the intention. I'm trying to check something on my pew 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 pew. I'm trying to change my ad settings. Hold on. Pew 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 pew. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. There you go. I had a really fun time and I'm 100% gonna miss it. It was just such an experience that I really want to go again next year. I want to really go next year. Even if it's not to Lollapalooza. Kevin, hello. Thank you for stopping by. What you doing here? For all those. Got a notification. I'm glad you're doing good. I don't want to stop you from taking a nap. A nap is a worthy endeavor. I took a nap myself just a little bit ago. Dom better show. And then Hoshi will be coming with us to see Dom, is what I'm hearing. Staring eyes. Oh, I didn't want a blender. Unless this is, in fact, what I want. I kind of want like one of these guys. I want like a scrapey guy. Like a grassy guy, you know? It's like scrapes and such. I'll be there somehow. Probably leave this on in the background while I eat if I do it to picking up. Good. Flying. If I ever got stuck in 3 hour traffic, I'd start tweaking. Oh, don't do that. How do I turn off scattering? Wow. Meow. I don't want scattering. I want like a natural. Oh, that's fun. Almost like sparkler-esque. I want to do something with that before. What does dual brush do? Oh. I'm trying to. I might have to go for an oil. There we go. Oh, I'm missing all my stuff. Oh, I don't want swatches. Oh, where'd all of my things go? There we go. Just lost my my layers for a second there. Ooh. Don't want to do that. That's what happened when I was in with LA with my friends. It wasn't quite as bad, but still sucked because we were going to the beach. Oh no. Oh, that's what I'm missing is her halo. I was like, what am I missing? I'm missing her little thing that I designed. No. Is that your design joke? Is these not? Yeah, okay. Glass animals. Pop off with it. hard when I don't have like a larger brush to create these strokes with, which is a little bit frustrating. Kind of fits the drawing that we're doing right now. Yeah. Also going to blur the outside edge anyway, because that's a technique that I've learned and I'm going to use. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Trying to do some fun things here. So I'm going to take a big blending brush and I'm going to do what blender? No, I just want to like blur it though. Thank you. I'm very proud of this. Oh, I should get some more light spots down at the bottom. What was the brush I was just using? There we go. Oh, it's because I was using an oil brush. I was like, where'd it go? Take you. I figure out how to. So this is a blur. Okay. And this is going to take a lot of time to like load. And I'm going to go filters. I guess you're not going to be able to see the filters that I'm doing. I'm going to go. Oh no, I want to do select, and we're going to inverse. I'm going to go to filter, blur, and I'm going to do lens blur. Oh, I don't need to select. I don't need to select with that lens blur. So filter, blur, blur. Oh, I don't want to just like blur. I want to filter, blur, lens blur. I'm just gonna pull up a screen for only me. Don't want a whole lot of noise, just like a little bit, like 2. Distribution Gaussian. I'm gonna try that. We're gonna give it a second. We're gonna wait. I don't know if it did a whole lot. I don't think it did. I'm gonna up the strength to like 83. And go back in with my oil brush and crisp up some of those lines. And I'm actually gonna pop one of these on, like a grab every layer one of these guys, and do that. Oh, I might have to do it at the end. Dang, that's okay. That's okay. But yes, unfortunately, a lot of my being gone has simply due to the fact that I've been really sick, which is not what I would like to be. But you know, it's kind of how things are for me right now. But we're working on being better, and we're working on being healthy, and I'm trying to make a lot of choices in my life right now to be healthier. No, I have not played the update yet. I will talk more about Cult of Lamb in a second to finish my little thingy. I am taking a social media break. So if you guys see me on Twitter a lot less, or if you don't see me on like TikTok or Instagram, I'm taking a social media break, and I'm kind of proud of myself for doing so. It's been really difficult for me, I think, and I really want to be a better example to myself, and be better to my mind. And I won't lie to you, it's kind of like an addiction. I've been going through a withdrawal, and it sucks. I keep catching myself going to like click on TikTok and like having to stop myself because it's like gone now. And so I've set it up where if I do it on accident, it opens my self-care and self-help app. Did notice last Twitter, have you taken care of yourself? Well, thank you. Yeah, I need a break from Twitter. I need a break from TikTok. I need a break, period. God, it is so like boiling hot outside today, you guys. I'm sweating. Sweating. So real. Ooh. Sweaty. Ugh. It doesn't help that where I stream from has like very minimal like airflow. And there are spiders in my window again, which sucks. I have to make a few. So I'm going for like this. So I should go for like a purpley shadow layer. I'm just gonna create like some point connection shadows real quick, and then I'm gonna go on to my dappling effect. I wanna do it like a dapple. Every Splatoon player just went dapple. Dapple dualies? Speaking of Splatoon, I'm hoping to play more Splatoon, and I have a few collabs for Splatoon lined up for Grandfest. I summoned Bean. I watched her told me to stand up. I will be doing no such thing. Final Fest. Okay, so the people that I'm collabing with are also wanting to pick present. And I love Pearl and Marina, so I won't lie to you, present has been very tempting. Thank you for the lurk, Fiery. Just gotta like blend out from there. We love lesbians. Pearl and Marina. A collab is brewing. I would love to do a collab with a lot of people, especially folks who are doing Team Present. As a lesbian lover myself. Speaking, I gotta get in that little cranny. And then from this point forward, I'm gonna do my dappling, and then from wherever the holes are is where I'm gonna do a lot of the like reflections. I'm for the most part just gonna kind of create the implications that we got going on. God, this song. I wanted to create the shape of the heart there. God, okay, so I'm so glad I like stopped and came back to this. It's so much better than it was the first time. And I am so excited for Ami to see this. I think she'll really like it. Hi, Cheese. How are you doing? Um, much as I think that this song is very funny, I don't want to listen to it right now. There we go. There we go. I'm trying to do some new things with my art and my such, and I feel like that's pretty visible in this, and I'm kind of really happy with that. Okay. I think like on top of this, I should do one of these. Make it a little bit bigger. I'll just do like a contact shadow from this. You know, that arm is not in contact. It is in the air. Speaking of, I forgot I gotta do that. I'm gonna Originally, I was gonna do like a different outline for this. Is what I made. Why I made it a little bit thicker, but I think it's just kind of fun looking now. I think contact shadow is the part that I hate the most. Because they're so wholly necessary and they make my art look better. But I hate that they're wholly necessary. I'm trying to think of what else we said we would talk about today. My coworkers are fighting. This is nothing new, but one has left for college, another is leaving in November for college, but my manager refuses to like. We should have been hiring people or in the process of hiring people for like weeks, and they really haven't been. And then everyone got really sick around the same time that I got sick right after I worked for like a week straight after we got back from Lollapalooza. And then I got really sick from it, from working like that. And then so did everyone else. Apparently, like something like went around is my best guess. A few people got COVID, which was not phenomenal. And I gotta multiply. There we go. Like a better soften those edges. Cause look how cool that looks, you guys. That feels really fun to me. Just gives that like she's sitting in it kind of thing, you know? But what I meant to do this shadow layer was this. Just because this arm is like further up in the air. And I want to create a sense of depth. Coworker tea was very brief. The long and short is one of them has been trying really hard to get a certain position and has been really close friends with the other, like the assistant manager, and she was basically like, I am so excited for you to get, because she was like, well, I'm considering getting a second job because she doesn't get a whole lot of money from our barista job. And this friend of hers who's been trying to get this like position, um, basically was started being like really nice to her. And then ended up like turning around and being like, well, I really hope you get this job, and then I could get the assistant manager position. As if she's not already supposed to be the assistant manager at a different store. But I figured out, I think, why she said this. She told me today that our store is so much busier than the other store. And I think she wants to seem like she's doing more of like a job, you know? You know? But like this coworker is one who has like not liked me because I'm very good at my job, and I think she's almost like threatened by the fact that I'm good at my job, you know, which feels weird, but okay. Long and short is my manager needs to hire more people. Um, and I need to do less work for the amount of recognition I'm getting. Full honesty. Or I need to get more recognition for the amount of work I'm doing. That is the extent of coworker tea. As for everything else, so this is gonna be super weird for a second, y'all. But I'm gonna do one of these. And we're just gonna start erasing. I feel like I have to do like a 50% on this eraser. Or like a A74. Oh, it's flow, not opacity. Oops. I don't know how to do dappling, y'all. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think I have to even lower like a little bit more. Flow 100. I'm trying to. I don't know what to do. How do I? How do I? How do you do dappling? Thank you, Kofi Bonds. How has it only been an hour and a half, y'all? I feel like I've been yapping for like 3 hours. Just talking about my 4-day trip to Chicago. But literally, we got home from Chicago, and like the next day I went to work. Hold on. Hold on. How do you dapple? I'm literally looking up how to do dappling. How to digitally draw light dappling. How do you dapple? fuck do you do dappled? Okay. Looking at dappling. We're looking. Pre-made brush, save us. Save us, pre-made brush. Pre-made brush, save me. Pre-made brush, save me. I have an idea. You guys just gotta trust the process on this one. I myself, the lighting on the ground can be larger because it's going to be further away. Pre-made brush, save me. Pre-made brush, save me. It's working though. Something's happening. Probably could do this like a way different way. But like I feel like I'm cooking a little bit. There's definitely like a better way to do this. Oh, I don't want that one over the tooth. Super blur out the ones on the ground. Again, they're going to be much less distinct. Guys, I'm cooking. Guys, let me cook. So I'm using a blend brush rather than a blur on the ground ones. Because they're further away. Cooking. It's happening. I'm kind of, at some of these points, I'm kind of just like in the flow of the grass, pulling. And we'll do some like refractory light and all of that. Guys, I think we're cooking. I think it's happening. And we're gonna go to a blur tool. Callum with the sub. Thank you so much for the resub. And welcome into chat. A hot minute since we've seen you around, friend. And then we're just taking a blur tool around the ones over the body. And then I'm literally just gonna like go above. Or should I go? I am afraid you are in fact cooking. She's gonna go underneath. And I'm gonna go to like an orange. Oh, like a bright, like a ready orange. And I'm gonna make this a, I wish I had a, there used to be like a glow. Oh, is there a glow filter? Lighting effect. Ooh. You just like put up playing games. You should get some rest. It's not good to treat your body unkindly. There's certainly a way to do like a glow. Oh, I gotta remember. That'd be vivid light. We'll figure it out in a second. But I'm literally just gonna like trace the edges. And get a little bit smaller. Make that smaller. Make her almost like glow. Still looking because one piece, but you are indeed cooking with. Thank you. Gosh, and blur the edges with any light blend mode. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's gonna have to be like a purpley glow. And then I'm gonna do the hair edges in like a harsh purple. I'm actually gonna make this vivid light already. This is my first time doing like proper like lighting effects, which is kind of fun. I forgot to change that back up to 100 after I did that. Bow, 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 bow. And then we're gonna go kind of yellowy on these edges. And then I'm gonna do like a lens blur at the end of all of this. I need to be like, no, that works. All right, let's go kind of pinky. Yeah, there we go. There's the neon purple I'm looking for. Because her hair is gonna glow. It's crystal. God, color theory crazy. I'm gonna go luminosity. And then back to normal. Guys, I'm kind of having a lot of fun with this. I'm actually just gonna kind of like that luminosity to make it glow. Trying to find a good create some refractory light and all that business. Blend all that, spread that luminosity. And I'm so sorry if I just like zone in. This is a new thing for me and I'm kind of having a little fun with it. Beyond. And then back to normal. And then I'm going to filter. And we're going to Gaussian blur. Like, so that's 3.6 pixels. I find a good. We're just gonna go in and like legitimately like blur these glow edges. Oh. And then we're going to Gaussian blur the filter underneath it to the exact same level. Eee, thank you, thank you, thank you. Very happy with it. Oh. I like that. Good. Trying to find like what is the right amount of removing from the edges, because some of the removing is what's helping. Much better. Y'all, I fear I cooked. You guys. Okay, I feel like this is a good place to place that. And I feel like a good place to call a good end to a return stream. Thank you. I'm very happy with this. I was not anticipating to be really happy with this piece, and I'm really excited to show this. The kitchen survived. I I don't know. I just did miss you guys so much, and this was such a delightful time. Oh, I nearly forgot to do a few things, which is, it's you guys. It's time for my favorite time, which is to. Okay, that's also selected, and we're gonna go filter, convert for. Okay. Converted that for small filter, And we are going to go... Oh, it won't let me do a lens blur. I was going to try and, like, blur some bits. That's okay. And we're going to copy merged and paste on top. And then I love to throw a Gaussian blur over top at a solid 6 pixels. And then we go to an overlay layer. I pop that at 50. I actually lower that even more. And I like to play around with like what I do to make it like pop. But I think I'm fucking with the darken right now. And it gives this almost kind of like ethereal effect, and it makes the line art pop. And then now we get to slap my signature on her. I learned that one through Tumblr like 6 or 7 years ago. I learned that one. And it has just like, I have used it endlessly and I love it so much. I recommend it to anybody. Select, copy, and merge to paste into one layer your entire piece. Pop a Gaussian blur on it at like whatever you feel is the most comfortable, whatever blurs it to a good amount. Change the layer type and then to like whatever makes it pop best for you. I typically do darken, multiply, or overlay. And then I go to about 50%. It does all this beautiful stuff. And then we do my signature and make it real small and impossible to remove, but still notably there. And then I'm going to put a really really light noise. To fuck it up for AI. Has been clipped for later, will be stealing. Hell yes, do it. I would love to influence my favorite artists. That would make me like explode. I fear we cooked and I fear we are done, and I had a wonderful time seeing you guys. And I super appreciate you all coming out and hanging out. And for continuously coming back, even though it's been like a month since I saw you guys. I love and appreciate you guys so much. And I cannot wait to be back at this. I'm trying to find more time in my free time now that I'm not on my phone really all that much. I want to work on re-upping my design and my model, especially as we come up on the 6-month mark. Well, I suppose we've hit the 6-month mark as of like the 14th, but I was very sick. But this was such a wonderful time, and I'm really excited to be on this journey. This has been a fun 6 months, and I love you guys so much, and I'm sending you so much love your way. Thank you. I'm so proud of this. It cooked. It ate. I was so worried that this would not turn out, and I'm so glad it did. Thank you so much, and thank you guys for hanging out. Let's sit and chit chat a little bit. I do need to find somebody to raid. I want to look for an artist to raid out in. if nobody has suggestions, we are just going to go to my wonderful mod Jelly Bean. Eight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will look. I will be on the hunt. That is my task now. It's too late. If you wanted it, too late. It's mine now. I'm contemplating. We go to another artist. Or if we go to a mutual who is playing. Ooh. You know who we should go read into? Let's read into Arcane. We haven't seen Arcane in a hot minute. I think it would be a delightful time. This is someone we have already seen before. They're also an 18+ account, so I'm not too worried about you guys as long as you behave and you say very kind things. Arcane is such a sweetie. What a fun design they have. They're a plushy cryptid. It was wow. To spell it right. Ooh. Beautiful. Yes, everyone copy the raid message. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I appreciate it so much. I cannot express enough for you the love that I have for you all and the wonderful support that I feel from you all. I'm sending you over to someone else that I also love their content and is a member of our community. Spread the love. Keep feeling the love everywhere you go. Remember that you guys are always in my mind and in my heart. I'm thinking about you all the time. I am hoping to stream more frequently, and I mean it this time for real. I will be doing my best to put out a schedule coming soon based around my work schedule now that my manager is better about kind of putting a schedule out. Have a good night. I love you all so much. Remember, take care of yourselves. Drink water. Don't pass out at music festivals. And don't get heat stroke. Also, don't get stuck in the car for 3.5 hours longer than you need to. I love you all so much. Bye-bye.